All right, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages. What am I doing here? I don't know. It's been a while. I've lost the plot. I really don't know what to do with this channel, or what to say, or even if I have anything important to say. The likelihood that I don't is strong. Uh, should come as no surprise, but I have several more things to show you that I've hauled in over the last month that I've been absent from the YouTube space. Uh, you know, a little Death Wish coffee, Old Faithful. Cheers. We'll do a little housekeeping, and then I guess we'll just dive right in. Um, there's gonna be no format here. There's gonna be no rhyme or reason to anything that happens here. Just gonna ramble on a bit about what I've been up to and what I've been doing, and a couple of things I've taken in haul wise. So no surprise, another haul video. Um, but this is where I'm at right now. I'm hauling stuff. So uh, it'll eventually settle down, and I'll start talking about things on a more individual basis. But it's my channel, so I get to write the rules, right? Welcome back. My name is Jonathan. Uh, as per the title of this channel, I was born in 1970, and for anybody new, welcome. For anybody that's been here for a while, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be me showing off hauls. But I have a few interesting things going on today uh, that I haven't really gotten into um, before. So let's just do a little housekeeping. Coffee cup of the day, of course. Scent of the day is this beauty. This is Eau de Beau. Eau de Beau by L'Occitane. This is nice. This is nice and simple. It's cardamom. It's a beautiful cardamom pink pepper opening. It's a cypress and incense that's kind of driving the whole thing, and then a little bit of sweetness in the base with vanilla and whatnot, tonka bean, I believe. But this doesn't try to be the smartest kid in the class. It just does it right. It's a very sexy fragrance. Glad to add that to the collection. This is the box in case anybody's interested. If I'm not mistaken, this is uh, the older iteration, but if I am mistaken, correct me. Um, but I've heard even modern L'Occitane isn't to be shied away from. I just happen to have that one. Okay, what am I sampling? I am sampling beauties, two beauties that I likely will never get my hands on, and two houses that I've become very fond of. One is Dixit and Zach, and the other is Aufori. I'm sampling this. This is called Let's try it again. This is called La Lanterne Rouge by Aufori. And Aufori is a very small, independent luxury brand, independent niche, artisanal, whatever you want to call it, um, out of Malaysia. And I don't know if it's a husband and wife team or a brother, like a brother team, but it's Eugene and Amaris, Aw, or O. I don't know how to pronounce their names, AU. And they've combined the AU into the French word for euphoria, which is euphoria, and they've made this brand, Aufori. I have one full bottle of this brand. That is this from Aufori, and this is called Shipra Oud Maharani. Saying that right? Shipra Oud Maharani. I said it right. And this is indicative of what this house is all about. They're just over the top, luxury, opulent, rich, dense, like to the line of being almost gaudy. But the materials they're using, the blending, the creativity of what they're doing. I've really become a fan of this house. I've tried a few other things, and now this La Lanterne, which I can't seem to find anywhere. And I'm sure if I did find it, it would be spendy. Um, Alfori stuff is not cheap, not cheap at all. Um, but this La Lanterne Rouge is, I guess, in Chinese culture, red. The color red is used for luck and good fortune, and so all of the materials in this fragrance are red. There's uh, there's goji berry. I think I have it written down here in my notes. Here it is. We have red mandarin, red dates, goji berry, saffron, which is red, um, red osmanthus blossom, crab apple blossom. You see the theme here. Um, red peony, red Dalbergia wood, which I've come to discover is a genus of rosewood, which is interesting. I didn't know that, and it has a reddish brown tint to it. So that's pretty interesting. And then ambergris in the base. Um, this this Lanterne Rouge is just stunning. I've just been just knocked out by it for the last couple of weeks that I've had it, and man, I would love to get my hands on it, but I'm just happy to have that much juice of it. It's that good. Just one spray and it wafts for the rest of the day. Like really, just put a little bit on my wrist and I'm good to go for the rest of the day. Same thing with this Dixit and Zach, this Charba or Chawbag or Chawbog. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. Charba, I would think. Um, and this is kind of simple, but it does a little bit of the same thing in that it's rich and opulent and uh, biting almost. This has uh, this has a honeyed sandalwood, and and that honeyed sandalwood kind of rounds out what would otherwise be a very um, a very sharp um, oud wood, and there's this tart, very tart rose cardamom combination, and those two things with the oud are just intense and sharp and cutting, but like again like that, and there's some what seems like burnt citruses in the top, and but that honeyed sandalwood, that roundness of honey and the creaminess of the sandalwood kind of tame it just enough that it's really very interesting, really very intriguing. um Charbot, I would love to have a bottle of this, but again, Dixit and Zach and Alfori do these very small batches, very limited runs, and if you don't get them when they're there, you're screwed. And finding them on the secondary market, the gray market, it's silly. It's just like a Riege on the secondary market. You're talking about double and triple the prices. I think that Sheeper Oud Maharani that I have, I looked that up just for shits and giggles. I looked it up on eBay, and somebody's selling a bottle of it for a 30 ml bottle of it, by the way, for $1,200. So that gives you an idea of the silliness. If you don't get it right when they come out, it's almost like you got to blind buy them, pull the trigger blind buy, and trust that they're going to, at the very minimum, be interesting. Because I haven't run into too many Fories or Dixon and Zach's that haven't been, at the very minimum, unique and interesting. Uh, and most of them turn out to be very good. So that's enough talk about that. But there's what I've been sampling for the last couple of days. I've really been ensorcelled is the word. Um, okay, so got a number of hauls. Some of these are just little little goofy things that I've wanted to plug into the collection for a while. Some of them are cheapies. Some of them are flankers that I've been meaning to get, and along with a couple of these hauls, one haul in particular, and I don't know if he wants me to call him out, so I'm going to leave him anonymous. But a friend of mine in Canada, and you know who you are, not a Noosh, believe it or not. Um, I picked up some very reasonably priced fragrances, and I'll go over those in a bit. But he was kind enough to, well, I bought a few of these minis, but but they were of vintages that I had wanted to sample, and minis are a great way to sample stuff if you don't, if you're on the fence about pulling a trigger, on a big ticket vintage. And so I bought a few of them, but he was kind enough to throw in a whole bag full of extras, and I'll just run over them real quick. He was kind enough to send a decant of Yadigan, an official atomizer of Yadigan, which I by Caron, which I'd never tried before. So I'm stoked about that. Um, let's see. He sent. I think I might have bought this, but this is Equipage. Believe it or don't, I'd never tried Equipage before, and this is a vintage version mini. Um, I'd been getting into Hermes recently over the last few months, and this seemed to be one that it needs to be in the collection. And I was right. I sampled this, and it's as good as I thought it would be. Some people don't like it, but I don't get it. I like it very much. And he was also kind enough to throw in this, which is very cool from a collector standpoint. This is very cool. This is a bar of soap, an Equipage uh, bar of soap. So how cool is that? And I think it's wrapped up. It is. It's wrapped up. Cool, right? Vintage Equipage bar soap. Mini. I don't think they would. I think they sold probably bigger ones than this, but kind of cool, right? So, okay, where else? This is I have this, so but it's cool to have the mini. I've got a growing collection of minis over here. This is Lagerfeld. Um, Maybe I just showed you the back of it. No, I didn't. This is Lagerfeld cologne. So I know what that smells like, but kind of cool to have the mini. And I have this as well, but I don't have this vintage version of it. And this is Guerlain's Vetiver. So that's a cool little addition to my mini collection. I'll sample that against the version that I have and see if the differential is vast or not. This is from a house that I'm very fond of, and I not think I've ever smelled this one or even knew about this. I think I knew about it, but this is Jill Sanders Man 3. So I'm looking forward to getting to know this. And I, as a part of one of the halls here, I have a Jill Sander coming up. This is one that I've wanted to try for quite some time. A friend of mine, famous YouTuber Duncan, raves about this, and I'm familiar with the feminine version from this house. And this is Mila Schoen's Uomo. And I've been interested in trying this, and he sent along a decant, which is or an official mini, which is awesome. So I'll get to try that, see if it's worth the big ticket, because that Mila Schoen Womo is not cheap at all. Now this is a curious one. This I've only seen in passing once on not eBay, but I'm trying to think of not Macari. What am I trying to think of? Etsy. Sorry. I saw this on Etsy one time. And I was like, "What is this? How obscure and odd is this?" And a few of you out there might know what this is, but I am really curious to check this out. And this is G-Men by Gainsborough, and this is an obscure one that I'm curious about. I'm going to give that a sniff soon. This is one that I've been wanting to get my nose on, and because it's been getting some talk recently. And this is Or Black by Pascal Morabito. Now I have Or Noir, the feminine version, but I don't have this, and I'm really looking forward to checking this out. And this is Or Black. I don't know how well you can see that. There is some writing there, and it's in red. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. Okay, this, I have no idea what this is, but it's from Victor, which I'm familiar of, and this is called Fresco Absolute. Fresco Absolute? Yeah, Fresco Absolute from Victor. From the nozzle, it smells good. It smells like a old school barbershoppy cologne. It's nice. I don't know if I would go after a full bottle. That would be super redundant in my collection. This, I happen to have a bottle of this. This is really good. And I have a few different things from this house, and this is Arrogance Uomo. And this is an official atomizer. This is not a mini. Um, but this is a good fragrance. But I thought it's kind of cool to have an official atomizer from the house, from a vintage house. Kind of cool. So I'll stick that in with the minis. Um, there's another Lagerfeld, and this has long been on my list of things to try. Um, I hear good things about it, then I hear that it's just not worth a big ticket money. But this is Photo by Lagerfeld, and if I'm not mistaken, that green indicates vintage. Correct me in the correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But this looks to be a vintage, and it doesn't look to be. I don't know why they would make a mini of the aftershave. So yeah, eau de toilette. So this, I would take it. This is the vintage of Photo. So we'll get into that and see if it's worth a full bottle. Um, okay. This has long been on my list. Now I've been going after releases from Aramis because they're all getting axed from what I hear. So I've been trying to go after quite a few of the back catalog from Aramis, and this is one I'm not sure whether to go after the modern in the uniform bottle that all the other ones are at, or go after this version of Havana. Um, I've heard this one's a little bit better, but I don't know. We'll get into it and see what's what. But it's kind of cool. It's a good, and it's a great size to sample. It's not like a 2 mil dabber. I love these old minis. Um, all right, let's see one more. This is from the house of Yves Rocher. The boxes seen better days, but this is called Antarctic. And this has always been kind of on the periphery of my radar for a long time, just because it looks obscure, it looks weird. It's just, nobody ever talks about it. But and it's kind of a weird bottle, but this is a pretty good sized mini to get a sample from. So we'll check this out from Yves Rocher. Rocher. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll report back on some of these to see if these are going to turn into full bottles. I don't know yet. But okay, so let's get cracking in on some of the recent pickups. Um, like I said, I've been going after back catalog Aramis stuff, um, and these two have been on my obscure list, and there are several others, but I went after this one. I got it for a really good price. This is Adventurer. Now, I don't think this is doing anything spectacular. I tried it. I'm gonna have to sit with it a little bit more, but this one seems kind of run of the mill, middle of the road, freshy kind of a thing. Freshy, woody. I don't know. We'll see. Jury's out on that one. This one, however, I was really interested by the note breakdown, and I tested it briefly last night, and it's intriguing to say the very least. And this is Aramis Black. And this one is going to get a lot more of my attention because it's kind of unique. It didn't totally blow me away, but I was like, huh, okay. Very, very interesting. I got to sit with that one for a little bit. Um, okay, this is, let me get my, I don't know where we are on time, so this is either going to be really long or shorter than I think. I don't know. Well, this is on everybody's, uh, nostalgia list, and I've always heard good things about it. So I saw it for a good price, and I pulled the trigger. This is from Givenchy, and this is Play Intense. Um, one for the collection of of popular discontinued gems, and I like it. It's very powdery. I'm gonna sit with it and see if there's anything more than that powder, but uh, so far I like it. Okay, this one I kind of put off because Lanchetti Uomo is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, and I just scored two vintage bottles for very good prices from a friend shopping overseas. So those will be coming my way hopefully over the next few months. And I have two partials of Lanchetti Uomo, and I also have this is Lanchetti Pour Homme, which is kind of a nondescript cologne. It's very nice, it's pleasant, but it's nothing nothing fantastic. So you know, Lanchetti Uomo sets the bar so high that I thought nothing else the house is going to put out is going to impress me. But I picked this up, taking a chance, and this is Lanchetti, Monsieur Lanchetti. And I got just a little bottle because I got it for a good price. I was like, I'll take a chance on it. And I'll tell you what, this has been a pleasant surprise. This is a classy little affair, and it has some of that Lanchetti DNA. It's got some galbanum in it. It's got some nice woods. It's an aromatic, a little spicy. I'd have to give this some more attention. This one was a pleasant little surprise. So yeah, so that's that, and that didn't cost me anything at all. Okay, this was a gift as a part of one of the hauls that I got from a friend of mine up in Canada, and I was a little, I was like, I've heard of this house, and I've heard there may be a few things from this house that are decent. This is Hollywood by Fred Heyman. It's a '70s designer. Now, this bottle is really something. It's as gaudy and as goofy as can be. The bottom comes up. It's like plastic, and the cap is just plastic, and I don't know what's happened. The juice is like that Kool-Aid blue. And when I first sprayed it on, I was like, it's like it's a fruity synthetic cologne bullshit fragrance. And I was like, oh well, what are you gonna do? He was kind enough to send it, and I won't it's saying what I'm saying about it has nothing to do with how much I appreciate his kindness and generosity, but it's it is what it is. However, sprayed it on my hand. I sprayed a good amount on my hand and my arm the other night, and then what I found out the next day. So it stuck with me, believe it or not, all night into the next day, and I'm having my coffee in the morning, and I keep getting this whiff of this creamy, leathery, classy little touches of fruits. And I'm like, what is that? Now, granted, I'm sitting in a room full of fragrances, so it could be coming from anywhere. And I'm like, what is that thing? I keep getting this great, creamy, sandalwoody, leathery kind of a thing. And I'm like, what is that? And I put my hand to my wrist, and I was like, It's this Hollywood by Fred Heyman. The top and the mid are like just throwaway. You're like you dismiss it immediately. There's just no way you can, you know, not even being a snob, but it's just not good. But the dry down of that fragrance is good. Like really, really nice. It was a big surprise. So I think you gotta spray that on and then like sit in the house for 5 hours and then go out and then you'll smell good. So yeah, so that's that. Speaking of sandalwood, this was a kind gift, and I won't reveal the source. This is from the House of Etro, which I'm a big fan of, and this is called Sandalo, and this is the older bottle, and this is a very good fragrance. This is a very good sandalwood fragrance. I don't think I'm revealing anything to a lot of you about how good this house is. It's a very good house, and they have a lot of really good releases. Um, some that I'd like to add to the collection, but are very difficult to find. Messe de Minuit. What else? Royal Pavillon. Pavillon, is that right? Um, there are a couple that I'd like to add to the collection, but they are not easy to find, especially the older ones. They get a little pricey. Okay, happy to have that one. Uh, okay, let's see. I was talking about that Jill Sander. Well, this kind of fell in my lap. Talking to the guy about different things that I wanted to buy from him, and I was like, Jill Sanders. Yeah, let's do it. I saw it there on his list, and he was selling it for a good price, so I got it. Jill Sander, man, absolute. And this is really nice. This is not reinventing the wheel and just not doing anything super crazy. And the opening is a little whatever, but the bulk of this fragrance is really very good. Um, Jill Sanders, like like some of these other like houses, like Lanchetti and some of these other like houses from the 80s and 90s that don't really get to talk or play today. Really put out some good fragrances back in the day. Jill Sander, what else? Houses like Aigner, Etienne Aigner, um, some of those like mid-range houses um, put out some really good fragrance. Lanchetti, so this one's pretty good. I have to give it a little more attention to see what I really think about it. Um, the best from this house, in my opinion, is still that Feeling Man. That's just a killer fragrance. But yeah, so Jill Sanders, man, absolute. Sorry, I'm all over the place here, but this is just how it's going today. Okay, this is very special. Very special in that it's a collector's piece, and I took a chance on it, but I've been pleasantly surprised. This is a release from 1967, and the bottle itself, it probably is from right around that area. I don't believe this is a later release. This is from the House of Houbigant, and this is Monsieur Houbigant. And this is the Eau de Cologne, if I'm not mistaken. It is. Um, this is surprisingly intact for its age. Um, Top notes are a little faded. There's no doubt about that. But there's nothing off about this fragrance. It's really, really nice. Spicy, leathery, like sharp woods. This is nice. To sit with this a little bit more. This just came in the door recently, so um, cool though, right? There's an old fragrance right there. I got it for a good price, so I pulled the trigger on it. Okay, let's stay in that ballpark of vintages. I've recently been getting into the House of Avon. There are a few of you out there that have led the way in me learning about Avon, and that there are gems in that house not to be dismissed. And the cool thing about Avon is um, not only are they good fragrances, I mean, they put out some bombs, I'm sure, but there are a lot of gems in that house from the 70s and 80s, even back to the 60s. And but the thing is that their vintages have stayed kind of under the radar, and nobody gives them any attention, so their prices stay really low. So you can pick up vintage Avons for a song and a dance, which is exactly what I did. This is called a men's fragrance wardrobe. And what this is it's kind of cool. It's a 3 pack of 2 ounce 60 ml bottles of 3 of their earliest releases. One is called Spicy, and look at the packaging. How cool is that packaging? And the bottles, well, let's just do this. Okay, so that's Spicy. This is the leather. This is, again, all from Avon. Very cool, right? And this one is called Tribute. And these are 3 of the earlier, I want to say earliest, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to say 3 of their very early fragrances from the 60s, dating back to 62 or 3, I believe. One of them is from 70. I should have done a little bit more reading, but I'm just getting to know these and I'll do more research about them. But very cool find. And you would not believe if I told you how much I paid for it. And look at these bottles. They are pristine. And they're screw caps. And they haven't lost very much. You can see there's not a whole lot of evaporation. And these smell fantastic. Just fantastic. I could not a bit missing. The top is intact. The fragrances smell good. They were kept very good. I will have to give these 3 a feature of their own. But yeah, I could not be happier from this score from Avon. 3 of their earliest releases in a 3 pack. So that is a cool little collector's piece to put in the collection. So I will give them some more attention down the road, and we can kind of discover these together. But very cool, right? Men's fragrance wardrobe. Pretty cool. Avon. Who knew? Avon's. I'm discovering that Avon has quite a few good fragrances that aren't to be dismissed. Okay, here's kind of one that I was hoping for more from, if I'm honest, and I didn't get it. There was some talk a while back. Hold on, I was running low on caffeine. There was a fragrance a while back called Van Gils for Men, or Van Gils Pour Homme, or whatever, and that vintage is really hard to find. And I've heard good things about that, and I thought, oh, let's see what the rest of the house, the easier stuff, is to get. Let's see how some of that is. And this is Basic Instinct from Van Gils, or Van Giles. I want to say Van Gils, but it might be Van Giles. This one is okay. This one is all right, but it's not setting the world on fire. Nice little bottle. It kind of looks like the Bulgari bottles. It's kind of cologne-y, little watermelon-y. It's fresh, nice citruses. It's nice on a hot day. It's nothing to write home to mom about. So that's kind of a whatever kind of a pickup. I'm not not over the moon about it, but it's not garbage. Not complete garbage at least. This is a fragrance that I was told to hunt for because it's very good. And some of you may be familiar with this house, but I'm not sure that, and I've never seen these older releases from the house. This is called Fragrance 31, Pour Homme Eau de Parfum, and this is from M. Micallef. And some of their earlier releases, I've been told, are very good. And this one is one of them. This is a really good fragrance. I don't know how well you can see what's written there. Probably not well at all. But Fragrance 31, Pour Homme, Eau de Parfum, is a freaking good fragrance. It's kind of in this stock type bottle with the kind of a baseline atomizer and everything. But maybe this is in the house that's just starting out. But this is a good fragrance. Holy cow! It's spicy. It's got a little skank to it. It's got a great dry amber, not a sweet amber, but a dry amber accord in the base. Um, Lavender is beautiful. Man, it's really nice. Really nice. And some of these older Mikelevs and Mikelevs, I might have to look more into. Um, and yeah, you would expect this being a vintage M. Mikulev that it might be a little spendy, but it wasn't. I got this and a second one for a song and a dance, and I couldn't be happier to have those. Um, yes. Okay. So okay. Here's an obscure fragrance from a house called Jean Charles Brousseau, and this is Collection Homme, the Brune. Um, Ask me about it. Ask me information about it. I don't know. I have nothing for you. I, so a friend of mine recommended this and said that it's pretty good. So I was like, why? You know me. If I've never heard of it, I want to try it. So, I got this for a good price, and he sent it along. And so far, I've only kind of sprayed it once, but it's a cool bottle too. Um, I've been impressed. This is a Jean. No, forgive me. This is a Pierre Bourdon. Um, I've been trying to zero in on a few perfumers that I like and kind of go after their older stuff that may be a little less popular than Koros or whatever. And this is another one to add to the Pierre Bourdon collection, and this is the collection, the Brune, and this is really kind of nice. Um, Again, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's doing that pineapple thing up top, and it's a really classy, gentlemanly kind of a fragrance. I don't have a lot of information, so I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on with it. I'll dig into it a little bit more and report back. But yeah, that's a nifty little pickup. Um, and I've been waiting for this one to come out for a while, and I finally got it recently, and this is Zaharo's Coco Loco, and this is good. Um, this is really very good. Um, I'm digging the packaging. I'm digging the cap thing. Um, Really very nice. I'm not a I'm not an over the top fruit bowl kind of a fan. Although I do like fruits and tropical stuff in fragrances. Have a feeling like this one's gonna need a little time to grow on me. Um, it's quality, of course. It's got Claude Deer's touch to it, so it's classy and it's grown up. It's not a childish fruitiness, but it's gonna need to grow on me if I'm honest. I don't want to sit up here and say, oh my God, it's the best thing since Virgin Island water. Not yet, maybe soon, but I always appreciate George's George's creations and Claude Deer's creations. Um, they put a lot into this brand, and it shows. Um, I don't have any doubt. I mean, I got two of them. I pre-ordered one and accidentally ordered the other one because I forgot that I pre-ordered one. So now I've got two. So I'm really gonna have to grow to like it. But nah, actually, one of those is going to a friend. Um, okay. Well, for now, friends, that's all I got for you. I'm going to try to get more regular. I say that every video, and then I let a month go by before I upload. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of my own way and start just recording my thoughts and be less worried about what I have to say or if I have anything to say at all. As usual, I appreciate all the love, all the comments. I look forward to the interaction in the comment section. So if there's anything about anything at all that I've shown you that you can teach me, any directions you can point me in, like I always say, always looking to learn new stuff. So y'all have a great night. Stay grateful. Peace.